Welcome back. Welcome back to fucking Seabee Sunday. Where you get the news, where you get my fucking thoughts, and a little, I guess, preview of what's going on today in the Seabees all around the world. Mainly Battalion, because that's mainly where all of us are. But today we talk about even a little bit of UCT, what they're doing, or what they just did. So anyway, we'll start off with the news. We're going to get right into it.
Let's get right into the news.
Okay, I hope you guys are liking these videos. I got an announcement at the end of this video, you know, and we'll get to that. I don't want to talk about it yet. But starting out, all right, beep, 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 beep. CB News, NMCB4. Okay, just did CPX. What I think is CPX. It says COMEX. We never called it COMEX. It's a communications exercise, right? Where you have to be graded by group and your higher command about if you can even fucking communicate via, you know, 152s and 310s. And I don't even think they use 310s anymore, but comms. You're doing it properly. You're not fucking up. You know, efficiency, all that. You got to pass. You got to pass everything. You got to qualify every year, every battalion. And so they were calling it COMEX on the, I don't know, DoD website that I've subscribed to that tells me what's going on. But they call it COMEX. We always called it CPX. Are those two different things? COMEX and CPX? Some active Bs tell me, or a veteran, I don't know. But from my understanding, it's the same thing. CPX was comms. We'd set up just like a little mini-fex, and we had an ECP, but it was just comms oriented. So anyway, that's what NMCB4 just did, which I guess then, if they haven't already changed the force redesign, it should be deploying probably about 6 or 7 months, maybe 8, I don't know. So that's what NMCB4 has just done in California. NMCB11, my alma mater. This is fun. They actually just got out of Germany, because I think it seems like every year in Ramstein, Germany, the Air Force base there, they have an ADR exercise. Every deployment I've ever been on that we've went to an ADR exercise over there, but they just completed their ADR exercise there. And for those of you who don't know what ADR is, that's airfield damage repair, which is actually pretty straightforward. I enjoyed it. You go on different teams, you'll see, especially it's alpha heavy, obviously, because it's road, or rather an airfield. So a lot of tarmac or concrete, etc. But it makes up all sorts. And in fact, I think one of the companies is strictly ADR now, like an air det for ADR. And we'll get to that in a minute, the force redesign. But they just did their ADR evolution. ADR, you've got the DAT team, which is like the damage assessment team. Then you've got the plotting team that they radio to, and then they have the working teams. And some of these teams have names that I don't remember, but like the DAT, I was a part of that, and the plotting team. And it's cool, and you do everything from filling in a crater to working in with what's called AM2 matting, you know, for cluster kind of holes, bombs, I don't remember what they're called. All sorts of different air damage repair. Some people like it, don't mind it, and other people fucking hate it. I didn't mind it. And lastly, UCT2, which actually I'm pretty sure is where my boy's at. But I don't know, he's across the world right now. But supposedly in July, or at least when this came out, but it says in July, late July, they just did an underwater evolution that simulated damage infrastructure with NMCB4. I guess NMCB4 was supporting them somehow, but they were just doing one of their training evolutions, and so that's fucking cool. And I'm putting pictures up with all these, and like, look at this picture. That shit is fucking rad. You don't think Seabee when you see that, and when you think Seabee, you don't see those diver helmets too. But that shit's real. It's real. All right. So that's the news for today. And we're just going to keep pressing on, and we're going to be a fucking locomotive until it really hits me. It's difficult to do these videos when I don't have a lot of feedback, because I don't know what you guys want to spend time on, what you don't. or what you don't want to and what you do want to. But I mean, I'm getting good feedback generally, but not a lot of requests, so I'm trying to just maximize. But I thought the general video should be, let me just tell you what life is like in Battalion.
Show me the money!
A real brief schedule. And this is not when you're on CPX, like I said earlier, it's not when you're on FEX, it's not when you're on deployment. And it's kind of just an overview, I guess, of the old, it didn't change much, but from the, you know, Alpha, Bravo, Charlie companies to now what is like, I guess, ADR, ACD, or whatever it's called, Advanced Construction Building, and then underwater or port construction. They all have their own new shit. And I'm still looking for information, tight information on that to explain the force redesign for those of us who have gotten out and are curious, because I'm curious. But when I left, and it's probably still the same, you'd wake up, right? And you'd have to muster, right, Monday through Friday, or really 4 days a week, but Monday through Friday, 0645. You're mustering somewhere on a grinder, which a grinder, when you get in, for you kids that are just getting in, the grinder is like a parking lot or a pavement pad, wherever you guys muster for quarters, or the grinder at the fucking near the gym, which is where it's like a basketball pad, I guess, I don't know. It's pretty much the grinders where you do those types of musters and quarters and stuff like that, but that is a grinder. And so you muster at the grinder, you do your little, you know, Navy PT stretches with your CFL, your command fitness leader, or whoever's your CFL for your company fitness leader. And then once you're done with that, once a week, if everything was going normal, at the end of the week we'd do like sports day where you just played a sport and it was really enjoyable. Other days it was like, all right, we're going on a 3-mile run. All right, we're doing this. And it was really fucking gay. But it can get good. And in fact, just before I left, for you fucking walnuts, I call you guys, the super ripped ass fuckers that can go, whether you're a bud stud or not, whether you can go 1,000 miles. If you get like outstanding, if I remember correctly, on your PRT, you're pretty much, I think it's, what is it, semi-annually physical test. If you get outstanding, you get to PT on your own, pretty much. You muster, and then you just go. And that, you know, you could PT, or you could just fucking go back to sleep, because you obviously got your shit together that you got outstanding. Guess what I got? You probably thought I got excellent, right? Nope. Good. Solid good. I was 27, remember, guys, and then I got injured. It was like, after that, I was like, fuck it. I will pass this, but that's that. So once you're done with that, it usually ends around 7:30, 7:40, depending on what you're doing. You go straight to the showers, home, eat breakfast, locker room. You just get ready for the day and get in uniform, clean up. And then you'd be at Spaces, 0845, 9 a.m. That's when you'd go to Spaces, which Spaces is your working area, right? Now, here's where things change, right? Because if you're an alpha type, you don't go to Spaces, which is like the offices. You go to the yard. You start fucking, get your ass on here. Chief says we gotta fucking do these hard cards. Oh, I hate my life, but I love being an alpha. Sorry, these chickens are wild. But yeah, so if you're an alpha type, dude, sorry, you're going to the yard. Doesn't matter if you're on a project, doesn't matter if you're not. Well, it does. If you're on a project, you go there. But if you're not on a project, if you don't got nothing going on, you're at the yard. It is just the way of life of the Alpha B. It's a shame. Because if you're a Bravo or Charlie type, let's say, and you're on a project, cool, you're going to the project, wherever that's at. If you're not in a project, you're going to Spaces. And you might have a few things going on. You might be tasked with the collateral, like you are the adjutant, which means you do the muster reports for that squad, or rather company, and you got to get all the muster reports, check them in, and then send them off to admin, and do any paperwork that's kind of like bitch work. Sorry, it is what it is, adjutant. But you might have that collateral. You might be the SCWs coordinator later on when you get to being a second class, first class. And you're in charge of everyone's SCWs, which is not as important, I'm hearing now. That's really interesting. But smart, in my opinion, because these kids need to learn their fucking job before they get their SCWs. But yeah, so you will If you're on a project, you'll go there. If you're not, you're in spaces. And let's say that you get to spaces, dude, and you're 301 qual, you have your SKUs, you're not on a project, and you're a Charlie type or Bravo type, meaning you're anywhere from UTC, E2, ABU, SW, EA. EAs are different. I don't know. They go to the EA shop, and I honestly have no idea what the fuck they do. They've always been that way. We might have had 1 or 2 EAs in a admin capacity in certain companies that I was in, such as AirDebt or, well, I was on HQ once and we had one. I hope he's doing well. What's his name? Natty Keone. I hope you're doing good. But yeah, you're not tasked with anything. There's no project going on. You disappear. And in fact, if you linger around long enough and you're not tasked, you will be probably told by a senior chief, fucking disappear. That's what happened to me. Disappear, dude. There's no reason you should be here. Like, and if you don't got nothing to do, dude, that's fine. Go figure out something to do. Now's your time to take care of your personal business. In other words, you're in home port, right? If everything's checked out and you're not tasked and everything's smoothly running, now is your time to go to whatever appointment you needed to go to, TRICARE-wise, family-wise, whatever. Make those appointments. But Charlie types, in my opinion, especially Bravo types, exceedingly blessed in that, because I remember I was good friends with a lot of alpha types, and I'd be like, fuck yeah, dude, I'm going, I don't have anything to do today. I'm gonna go run and do this, and then have lunch, a fucking 3-hour lunch. You wanna do that? And they're like, no, man, I gotta go to the yard. Chief's being a cunt. And I was like, that's not new, but that's the alpha life. So I'm just going over all these notes that I wrote because I want to see. Oh yeah, so that was how it was. Like if you're not on a project, if you already did your SKUs and your 301, which guys, if I keep saying 301, you don't know what I'm talking about, these new guys. That's your maintenance. Like when you do maintenance on your rifle or on a Jenny or whatever it might be, like a typical R1 card, right? You got to be 301 qualified, which is just like general maintenance. And that's a part of your SKUs that you have to do. You have to get 301 qualified. So, yeah, anyway, we'll talk more about that during SKUs because that's coming up. I'll talk about that. But if you're done with all that, I mean, you're kind of like fucking that was the word, disappear. Disappear. And I wasn't a shitbag. I didn't always disappear. Trust me, because it's very easy to be a shitbag, and you'll meet a lot of those guys. You guys going in and active babies, you see them, you know who the fucking shitbag is. I would go, and you can ask some guys in 11. I didn't have to be there, but I'd go to projects sometimes, and either give them a morale boost, choke and joke for 5 minutes, laugh, or I'd go and help a buddy who was a crew lead and was like, bro, they don't know what they're doing, or I'm fucked up. Like, can you come over for a second? Like 100%, dude. Can do. Yes. It is. It's life, as a friend. But pretty much, what is it now? New force with the new force redesign, and from what I could gather, nothing's really changed. It's still shit show, meaning they're still trying to figure it out. There's really no instruction from higher, is from what I heard last, but maybe that has changed, where it's more they sent out a fucking nav admin type, order, and it was like, this is what it is now. This is how you will org. Because when I was getting out, it was like experimental, and us as 11 were the first ones to really implement it. And supposedly it was a shit show. As it is. I mean, what are you supposed to do? You got to figure it out, and when you're not being told exactly how to do it. So the curious question is, right, what is life in battalion like when it's like that? From my understanding, it sounds honestly just like an air detachment, which for you guys that have been in, you know what I'm talking about, but for you guys that aren't in yet, or you're going to be a Seabee, or things changed from fucking 45 years ago and you're bitching me out about flags instead of talking to me about today. What is it with the new force redesign life in battalion? I would imagine it's just like air detachment, which air detachment, like I said, guys, sorry. Air detachment is pretty much a small company, or not a small company, but a company of Seabees in battalion that are pretty much the spearhead for that specific battalion, meaning you've got every rate. You've got EOs, you've got CMs, you've got BUs, all 7 rates you have, and they're all specifically categorized and organized. In other words, if you were an air det, you were kind of cream of the crop. You were At least back when I was in, it was like, man, dude, we're an air det. Like, that means
We're better than you. We're better. Be better.
But that's, I mean, you got to be proud of being an air det because you knew you were good at your job and you were dependable, and they thought that. But it sounds like that's all this is really coming up to be. It's like instead of us having Alpha Company, Bravo Company, Charlie Company, and air det, those 4 companies, it is now, and it changes, Delta Company pops in during FEC, so that's it, during a little mini reorg. It sounds like we're just reorging to like 4 air dets, and there's just specific, like, you know, ACB, Advanced Construction Building, I think is what it's called. I always get that fucked up. Port damage repair, airfield damage repair, and I'm sure somebody can list it off in the comments. But that's what it's changing to. And also, to finish off air det, it was like you had, if we went to war, we had 72 hours to be able to get ready and lift off. Like, we were the first company to go of our battalion and kind of set safe and set everything. Set safe is a part of SCWs, but to kind of get everything situated. So I think it was 72 hours. It might have been 48, but it was like quick time, turnaround time. So I don't think it would change much. In fact, I think it would be a lot more lax, because when you were an air det, dude, you were in charge of some projects, but usually Charlie Company. When I was in air det, we were in charge of one company or one project, because there was quite a few projects going on that home port. And but yeah, even more kind of like, if you're not tasked, disappear. I'll be on standby. Stand by your recall is what they would say. So, and then end of day work, typical work, depends on where you're at, but it could be anywhere from 1600 to 1700. At the yard, dude, again, I really need to get one of my baby alpha babies, my sweet loves from the alpha yard, and one day, and we can really talk. That's what I really want to do. Let's get different rates on. But I'm in the middle of West Virginia now, so you guys need to start watching, subscribing, and sharing so I can start fucking paying people to fly out to see me and pay them to talk on this fucking camera. But anyway, Battalion, it's not so bad. Other than FEX, CPX, a disaster relief mission that pops up, or deployment, it's pretty standard 9-to-5 job. Like, it really is. And it's super fucking lax. And it's super enjoyable because, I mean, you gotta tiptoe around some bullshit, but it's not as bad as you'd think, at least, thank God. Like, I don't know how the Army is now, or the Air Force and wokeness and all that horse shit, that political correctness. Seabees are pretty good at not being politically correct, and we're still pretty safe from that cunt material.
Thank you, God!
However, yeah, I can't say that, because there were some situations that were just like, wow, okay. But anyway, that's a typical day in Battalion. And lastly, just a couple announcements.
I come to make an announcement. Shadow the Hedgehog's a bitch-ass motherfucker.
Right? Today, I got a whiteboard coming. Like a teacher whiteboard. Like a proper, I'm gonna stand there and I'm gonna look so fucking professional and cute while I teach you. Because I thought, during my time in the Seabees, the 5 years I was in, I got guys now talking, SCW coordinators, you're probably gonna love this. There's not any lessons online. Like, there's Quizlet cards, there's the, general CB combat warfare book, SCW warfare book that you can look up and be like, oh, okay, here's the book, but there's no answers in it. And you really only get like that solid classroom session in a SCW's classroom, but that's up to the SCW coordinator to do. And a lot of times they didn't fucking do it because they were shitty pieces of shit. So I thought, you know what, man, nobody's done it. I would have loved to have had that. I'm sure 1,000 people would. Reddit really loved the idea, really loved when I went into SCWs on one of my videos, my long ass video, Seabee Sunday video. Towards the end there, I went over SCWs and EXW, just generally overview. And I thought, you know what, dude, I should pull my books out. I should give you a fucking rundown of what it is. And then we'll do classes so that, maybe like 15, 20-minute class where we just run through it quickly so that you can put it on when you're studying for your SCWs. That'd be fucking cool. I don't think it's an issue. I'll just have to make sure and confirm that there's any OPSEC issues, but there's not, dude. It shouldn't be, right? It's all over fucking Quizlet. It's all over the internet, like it's been that way. So I don't think it'll be an issue for me just to make a video and be like, all right, 101, safety. Look, this is the answers. We'll talk about it a little bit in depth. And this is what you're gonna practice on this week, Seabee. And all of my SCW coordinators, you can be lazy ass pieces of shit and just be like, look, we have an old B2 that made lessons. Watch them. Just kidding. Do your job. But you get it. You know, I thought, I'm thinking about doing that, and that wouldn't be a Seabee Sunday thing, and that wouldn't be a typical Homestead episode thing. I think that would be its own playlist. And honestly, I'd probably knock out quite a lot of them in one go. You know what I mean? Like, I'll just film them all and then upload them all at once. I'm not gonna make you guys wait. But that whiteboard's coming in, and I just honestly do too. I have to refresh myself. I was not a fucking SCW warrior. That's what they're called. I was a Project SPE. So it will be, you know, you'll get a lot of SCW coordinators that probably are gonna be like,
well, he's wrong about this. It should be saying this.
well, listen, fucker, comment and correct me. And then I will make a little edit and say, look, this is what EO1 Fagbag said. And he's right. Listen to him. He just went about it the wrong way, but being rude instead of being helpful and being a team. Fucking lame ass. No, I'm just kidding. I'm messing. I don't know. All the EO1s I was friends with. They were good people. So I'm thinking about that. Let me know what you think about that. I gotta call Master Chief, I know, and just make sure that's good to go. And then lastly, to sum up this Seabee Sunday, baby, I thought, what better way of doing this than live? I thought, well, I'll sit here, probably not here because I don't have internet access out here in the barn, but sit and let you guys who are in the delayed entry program, that are in fucking ECS or A school and you're not a battalion yet, or you're a veteran and you're like,
yo, Dave, you guys are fucking lame. This is what it was like back in 87.
okay, Dad, sorry, fucking lame ass, but you have a question or you want to share something, like, I think it would be great, because it would just be like talking. And, you know, I think any Seabee you meet is a just jug of information, like a fucking tank of information. And we don't talk about it as Seabees, which is why I'm out here trying to fucking send it out. Because I want you guys to know and prepare you guys and help you guys, because there's nothing like getting to battalion or, you know, wherever you're going as a Seabee and you're a new one and knowing things already, because it's a wake-up culture shock when you get to battalion, frankly. Especially guys that go to public works first, which is like a shore duty. Then they get to battalion and they're like, oh, what is this? I'm like, oh, welcome to being a Seabee. And there's my controversial ending today. But anyway, live next Sunday, I will put out the time on a post. Tune in. And I'll actually put a Reddit thing too on Reddit, just so people know. But anyway, as I was saying, oh fuck, what was I saying? Clip this part or cut this part. You'll be able to ask a question and I can discuss what you want to hear and you know, whatever questions you might have. And I think it's just awesome. So I think that's the way to go about it. I think that's the way to go about it for you guys, my viewers that are consistent, which, you know, shout out to you guys. You guys are awesome, you know, and I appreciate the encouragement. This is not easy. I will end it with this. This is not easy. It takes a lot of time to do this, but I have a passion for what I did. I was very proud of my time in, and I felt like my body had stolen it from me, my career, because I was on my way, you know. And so it's kind of my way of, I guess, coping with that and just coming down easy, saying, you know what, I can still help, I can still be a Seabee, I can still be proud of what I did. And, you know, and I can help guys behind me, and maybe guys in front of me can give me some peace and comfort. So anyway, guys, I love you. Tell me what you think. I hope you enjoyed Seabee Sunday. It was a, I think, shorter one, and we'll just keep on, dude. And if you're on deployment, chin up. If you're about to go on deployment, chin up. You're gonna fucking do it. You send it, enjoy it. Now is the time in your life where you make stories. Hold on to them, okay? Because soon enough, you're gonna be going back to the real world like me, and things get back to a real slow pace, and you think you're gonna love it, and it's gonna be awesome, and it is for 2 days. And then you have stroke mode. So anyway, thanks for watching Seabee Land. If you want to keep enjoying yourself like you're back in 1999 or 2003 without any bullshit politics, cunt ass behavior, stay tuned in, because this is where it's at Seabee Land. Love you guys. God bless you. And remember, my sweet baby boys and girls, the plan is no plan, sir.